Turn to the teacher. Turn to the teacher. Turn to the teacher. Turn to the teacher. Turn to the teacher.
And welcome back. I'm Mike with the Turntable Teachers, and class is back in session here with two special guests joining me at Nowhere Studios for this guest speaker episode.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, and it is the one and only Jeff Porter and the one and only David Ryan in the house. Guys, how you doing today? This is really exciting that we're able to sit down and do this. It's been a long time coming.
Oh man, it has. I'm stoked to be here. I love the space you guys have here. Shout out to John, SK, the whole team. Very welcoming, just very great atmosphere. Even we've had the pleasure of doing a session here already. Yeah. So, just pumped to be here.
Absolutely.
Ditto.
Nothing left to say.
For real. No, exactly. No, for real. I'm so excited, and thank you for coming out to that. It was good to meet you in person for the first time at the Opus show at Isaac Groove's album release party. So
definitely.
That was really dope and just got me even more excited for today. So let's go.
Absolutely.
Excited.
Yeah, definitely. And Jeff and I have been in discussion for, well over a year now, I think. And, the show just, as it's grown a little bit, the guest list has definitely, the waiting list has been quite a bit. But now it's your time. So I really appreciate you guys hanging in there with me. And I'm excited for this one. This one's going to be fun.
Oh yeah.
Different dynamic than we've had actually in person, because now we have three of us. So this is going to be pretty interesting. And since you guys are like two peas in a pod, you do all your music together. There's definitely be more than one test today. That's for sure. I hope you guys did your homework. I certainly did mine. I'm ready to go.
Let's do it.
Obviously, I want to start off with our first segment of the show, which is the objective. So we get to know a little bit about you guys and sort of your story, your background. And I really want to start with, I think this is just the obvious place to start, is just how much of hip hop heads you both are. It's very easy to hear that just judging by your music, sort of the type of style of raps that you guys do. But also, it seems as though you're very, knowledgeable and educated on the hip hop culture and the scene. I mean, you've name dropped a ton of, big names and seemingly influences. You have a song pretty much dedicated to your favorite hip hop heroes, so to speak. And you've name dropped a couple of different artists on the brand new EP, Part 5, which we will get to in a little bit. People like Gangstar. Who did I write down here? Gangstar, Outkast, Wu-Tang, Nas, Kanye, Souls of Mischief, Jay-Z, Lupe Fiasco. The list just goes on and on. So my first question, and Jeff, I'll start with you and then kick it to David here, is, I kind of want to hear your individual stories sort of coming up with hip hop. And then from there, sort of like how you guys sort of got to meet and sort of decided, hey, like when did you guys decide we're going to actually like pursue this hip hop thing together? So I was curious for you, like where it all started.
Yeah. So I would say for me, it's really, it's a convergence of sort of my family and how I was brought up, mainly my sisters and my older cousins, also growing up in Lynn, and then also growing up with the internet and LimeWire and Napster and stuff. Oh, yeah. So for me, actually there's a home video at home. I was 3 years old and Gangsta's Paradise by Coolio was on, and I was screaming at my sisters and my parents to keep it on. They wanted to change it and put on some like Mariah Carey or something. And I was like 3 years old and I was just loving it. And, then a few years passed. I was a young adolescent growing up in Lynn. My two sisters had, Get Rich or Die Trying, Eminem Show, Marshall Mathers LP. They were buying all these CDs, back when you could buy CDs, or when people did, right? So I was so curious. I was grabbing those CDs, finding a way to play them, and I was just blown away by the art form, just the passion, the pain, the lyricism, all that stuff as a young kid. And then in middle school, I went to Pickering in Lynn. And it was, the Jersey era, the Snap era, like Air Force Ones, Nelly had that song. And, it was a lifestyle and it was everywhere, you just heard hip hop absolutely everywhere. And then again, kind of getting into high school, it was the Wayne mixtape era,
sure.
and LimeWire and FrostWire, even an offshoot of that. And it was just burning CDs and hanging out, with friends. And I was hooked, and I was just obsessed for the next drop. I used to go on Hot New Hip Hop, all the blogs,
Hot New
like Two
Hip
Dope
Hop.
Boys, all that,
yes.
which I still check those out. But like Two Dope Boys, all the blog stuff, and just so it's really just growing up in Lynn, listening to my sister's music, and then just kind of being a kid of the internet. And I then was cool that all that music was there. I could kind of go back, and then when streaming came out, full discographies of Wu-Tang and Gangstar and Tribe Called Quest and Mobb Deep and all that stuff. It was just very easy and accessible to go back to that stuff and really kind of like get into it.
Yeah,
So,
definitely. We definitely grew up in the same sort of era,
Yeah.
and like I like sort of just second everything you just said about that was how I grew up too. Like go home after school and you're on Napster, and then obviously became LimeWire. FrostWire is a funny one. I forgot about FrostWire. Hot New Hip Hop, man, which same for me. Like I was on that shit every freaking day.
100%.
It was
100%.
insane.
Yeah.
Man. And then and Two Dope Boys. And there's another one. I'm curious to see if here if either of you guys ever went on this one, because it was great for so long, and then for some reason one day the site went down and it never came back. It was called the Carter Cartel. Did you ever go on that one by chance?
I have never heard of that.
It was amazing.
It wasn't a Lil Wayne focused thing. What?
It wasn't specifically Lil Wayne. It was obviously named after Lil Wayne, but like it had a lot, and it was just like a straight blow. It was similar to like Hot New Hip Hop, Two Dope Boys, right? But I loved that one. That one was amazing. And then one day I typed it in, and
It was just gone.
It was gone. It never came back up.
Yep.
So it was strange. So whoever made the Carter Cartel, if you're hearing this, like let me know like what happened to it.
Need to
'Cause I
find
was
you.
so curious. 13-year-old me is extremely curious what happened to that site. In all seriousness, though, like it's funny because Get Rich was one of the first albums I ever bought, along with Eminem's Show. It was those two and College Dropout. Those are and Speakerbox Love Below. Those are like the 4 albums I had. And then I had those constantly in rotation.
Yeah, Square One Mall, late registration. I went with my mom. She bought it for me, and we listened. And then Hey Mama came on. That was pretty dope. But yeah, she used to go and buy me CDs, take me to Target and stuff. But yeah, that was how I really became a hip hop head, was all that stuff.
Right. Now, same with me. My mom taking me, excuse me, to get CDs. So the deal was always at that age when I was, 11, 10 years old, that I'd have to get the clean version. That was it. But it was funny because later on when I was in high school, I re-listened to these albums, like, and it almost was like for the first time again.
Oh, right.
They're totally
The
different.
explicit
Totally
versions.
different songs.
Yeah.
Completely.
Definitely. David, what about you? Like, kind of curious is it similar? Any sort of differences there? Or?
It's honestly completely different because I didn't really grow up hip hop head per se until my late teens.
Oh wow.
So growing up in my house, we would listen to Stevie Wonder, Luther Vandross, Elton John, Billy Joel. So I
Sounds like
I
my
was
household
just like I loved every single bit of their music. I would grow up watching American Idol with my family all the time. Me and my dad and my mom would just sit there and watch it. And I would go up to the TV and I would start performing all the songs that then my dad would be like, sit down, what are you doing? And my mom would be like, no, he's gonna be on that stage one day. So yeah, like that's how like my love for music and performing and just kind of like I like the attention almost, you know what I mean? So that's how that started originally. And then but after when I was 12, my mom passed away, and my sister was like, she gifted me this My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, and I was like, I listened to it and I was like, yo,
What is this?
This is like this is everything right here. This isn't just hip hop, like this is everything right here. So like that opened my eyes to hip hop even more, and I went back and tapped into Kanye's discography. And I was blown away. And that was when he was starting to go into like the Cruel Summer era, you know what I mean? So like I remember that. I was at the time that I was getting into it, I was seeing what was happening on day-to-day basis, like changing, like doing crazy shit, wearing masks and stuff like that. And then at the same time, I was going back and really just grabbing like the College Dropout and late registration for like the real first time. So like it was like a influx of so much going on, and I just fell in love with it. And I fell in love with the artwork aspect of it. I fell in love with the clothes. I just fell in love with the whole entire thing. And
all the aesthetic.
Went back to my sister. I'm like, you need to really hip me even more. So she's like, all right, like here's Mos Def, here's Talib Kweli, like here's like all these other dudes.
Legends.
Yeah,
Old
just
Nas,
legends.
right?
So old Nas, that was one of like the first artists that she tried to put me onto. The first one that I actually listened to was Kanye. You know what I mean? So I went back to her. I'm like, you were right. So yeah, we that's how my love for hip hop really started, and then it grew into starting my own brand, and I eventually started doing a podcast called 108 Radio after I started doing my clothing brand with 108, and I invited this guy to on the podcast. He was originally writing blogs for us on a website, and invited this guy on the podcast because I know this dude knows everything about hip hop over here. So I mean, that's how we kind of connected originally with hip hop. So,
yeah, it's pretty cool. Like, you know, David and I used to like go back and forth on Twitter and just like talk about music, albums that came out. This was around like 2015 because I remember it was the ASAP album there. He has all the acronyms for all his albums. I forget which acronym it was, but it was that was a good one from 2015. One of his better albums.
With One Train on it, right?
One Train.
No, it was the one after that. It was the one with like the Max B song.
Oh, that's
At long last ASAP.
Yeah, that one's fire.
So,
we were talking about that album like
at the PBDY. He came up to me. He came up to me. He was like, yo, like, do you listen to the new ASAP album? I'm like, yeah, I did. It's all unbelievable. So we kind of like, I remember that was definitely like a catalyst moment for us, and being like, why don't we do more? Like, I know you write independently. You can talk about that for a minute.
So kind of in parallel, right? He was doing the stuff with 108, and I had just like a shitty WordPress blog, right? It was like my own blog.
It's not shitty.
No, just aesthetically. Like, I had like the free version of WordPress, and it was just like not a very aesthetically pleasing website or anything. But I was writing like a couple blogs a week on that. I was shipping out I was emailing like people at Rap Genius. I was trying to like go in that direction for like my like corporate career, is like going to writing with music and maybe journalism with music, and wasn't really getting anywhere, but I was just kind of doing it, you know, for passion. And then I wrote a blog about when Royce da 5'9" sort of like post Slaughterhouse, into sobriety, really got more cerebral with his music, started producing more. I don't know if you're a fan, but
I am.
I'm a massive fan. And when he started really, like, when he got his own, that Heaven studio there in Detroit, and like took his career in a whole nother direction, I wrote a blog. It was like, Royce is the best rapper alive right now. And he reposted it on his Instagram.
Oh, shut up.
And like, it was like, this is so cool. And this is before I ever thought of like rapping or doing music.
Yourself,
you know, at least, you know, very publicly and truly pursuing that, because I had always written in college, which maybe we'll get into that. But I was like, listen, man, like, why don't I write blogs for 108? Like, you guys get the stuff with the brand and the clothing, and we already do the podcast. Why don't I just come on and, you know, add some content? So did that for a while, wrote a bunch of blogs, and the podcast was great. We you know, we still do, you know, episodes once in a while when we have all the boys together, but it just became like, hey man, like, maybe you can start or take this back now.
We would hang out in our boy Tommy White, shout out to him, and shout out to Markel as well. We used to hang out in his garage. It was the four of us on the podcast, which, you know, we just talk about just music stuff, you know what I mean? Just hanging out. We just wanted to hang out and make it kind of, you know, make it actually like we're actually doing something type of, you know, smoke a little bit, drink a little bit, and have a good time. And
everyone had a podcast.
And then it would really just end up, because Tommy's a producer, it would really just end up with him playing a bunch of beats, and I always, as soon as I hear a beat, I love to just do like a little melody for it. So I would like try to do a little hook, and then all of a sudden Jeff would just come out of nowhere and just started like rapping his ass off. And we were like, we'd do that for like 15 minutes straight with him just like playing some instrumentals. And we're like, yo, what are we doing? Why don't we make some music now? Like, let's just do it. What's the big deal? So
and then right around that time, so in college, I had put out like a couple little like SoundCloud songs. They were trash. Maybe, I mean, quality, you know, I was doing like, you know, GarageBand on my university laptop or whatever.
We all start somewhere.
Yeah, of course. Humble beginnings.
You got it.
But my best friend, one of my best friends in college, Fernando, he actually does like Latin trap stuff now, and he can still rap, but he's out of the Bronx. We were going to school together in upstate New York at Union, and we were just like, we were always hanging out. We were always making music, and I would say that was the seed that eventually blossomed into, you know, where we're at now. You know, again, and at that time I was just writing, and that would eventually become pretty much the impetus for the Appetizer Part 1, my first EP. But the way that came about, me even diving in to do it, was David had been recording with One Wonder, Steve Dubbs, one of our engineers that we are very close with, and he's like, "Why don't you come hang out? Why don't you maybe drop a song or two, see what happens?" This is around like right when the pandemic was hitting, because last fall, before that, I was out in California with my cousin and a bunch of his friends, and we were at a hotel, and he's like, "Why don't you rap for people?" I'm like, "All right, maybe I can do that, sure." Like, I knew I could. I had a whole phone full of bars, right? And I did it, and everyone in the room is like, "Can we find your music? And like, where can we see what you got going on, like outside of this like hotel party?" And I was like, I don't have an answer for you. I don't have any platforms. I'm not. They're like, "Why?" And I'm like,
It's a great question.
I don't have a good answer. So it all just kind of came together. You know, when Dave really started getting going with it, and we just kind of, that's where it started, was with Steve, after those stories all kind of came together.
That sounds super organic. Like, just there's like a interesting sort of progression to that point. And then I think that must have been the sort of the light bulb moment for you. And then, you know, you had mentioned it earlier, like, why aren't we doing this, right? And then for you to hear that feedback and then be like, yo, I got to do more with this.
100%.
And I think that like kind of can sometimes push things forward, right? When you hear that sort of feedback early on, you're like, all right, I want to do more and more. And your stories are so interesting because they're like kind of a mixture of what minus the actual rapping part.
Sure.
But like, so I grew up in a household that was playing Elton John, Stevie Wonder, Fleetwood Mac, like all the same sort of bands and singers. Luther Vandross was like a huge. My mom would put on one of the Luther Vandross albums and Kenny G back to back on like Thanksgiving and stuff like that. Like, I remember this type of stuff. But then I just kind of naturally got into hip hop when I heard Outkast, like for the first time. It was like, "Hey Ya" and The Way You Move, and I was like, oh my god, these songs sort of sound similar to that, but there's a brand new spin on this shit. Like, what is this? And then I kind of did the same thing you did with Kanye, where it's like, I bought Speakerbox Love Below, and then I backtracked just based on like our ages and like where we were at. And so it's so funny that's like, I kind of have a mix of you two. And then same with me, I tried to make one of those shitty WordPress blogs. Probably this would have been 2016, and I got super self-conscious about it, and I didn't do it. And then because
the site was trash, but I bet the pieces were fire. That's how I felt. Like,
I was super self-conscious about it.
Dope stuff, but like the site is just trash.
I felt like I always had a place in music, and then not to make this all about me, but like it's just so funny to me that, you know, I finally, you know, a story, you know, and people know if you're a fan of our show or an audience member of our show, you know the story. I've said it so many times, but so I won't regurgitate it now. But it's just so funny that like I eventually found my way into it. You know what I mean? Because even still, like, I always felt like I had a place in music without really being musically inclined, and I figured it out. So if this is a message to anybody at home that's like, I'm passionate about this thing, but like I'm not sure, just friggin' do it. There's no reason not to.
As soon as you do it and put yourself out there in any aspect, it's gonna make the next move 10 times easier. Yes. I promise you.
100%. And that's actually a great topic there, because I can't tell you in the two and a half years and change that like we've been doing this like full, you know, hardcore and actually going for it. I've met so many artists that are kind of in that situation where it's like they're at a crossroads where they have like a vault of music, and someone might ask them like, do you have it on platforms? And they're just like, oh, I got like a SoundCloud. And it's like you have to start somewhere. You can't get overburdened by thinking about, I need to build a following. Like, that stuff's gonna come over time, and it's not overnight. And I mean, we can tell you that firsthand. Like, there's a lot of self-doubt. There's a lot of days where you're like, screw this, I don't want to do this anymore. Like, it's not necessarily accelerating at the pace that I maybe imagined at first. And it's like, Nah, man, you got to enjoy, like, if that's what you're in it for, is just that instant, immediate, overnight growth. It's just not. Like, I mean, any of the artists that have, you know, really taken off, especially in Mass, which we use that as a blueprint, right? Like,
Of course.
I mean, like, look at Millie's. Like, he's been doing this for like a decade, man, and like he's starting to really, you know, bear that fruit. But like,
even this area, terminology, he's another one,
100%.
20 year track record for him,
100%.
And he's still as hungry as he was 20 years ago.
45
You
projects.
got that new project with Paul Wall. That was
a smash.
And then he was on Adam 22.
Yeah.
He was on
he was on every big platform, right?
Hey, shout out to Term. One of the, I mean, probably the coolest night of our music career. We opened up for him with the Bars Over Bars show up in Maine at the airport, and couldn't have been a nicer guy. We had the pleasure of hanging out with him after the show, and FaceTime and Static Selected, talking to Joey Badass and all that. So you know, Term's just like, he's a guy who, again, 20-year career, and he's never taken the foot off the gas, and he's just like a really good dude, and someone I look up to very much, especially from the Mass scene. And I'm also just a massive fan of his work. But yeah, man, you got to start somewhere, and I think a lot of artists need to just go for it, because
I agree.
You can let the doubt eat you alive, but at the end of the day, man, you just got to do it.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. No, that's so true. And no, he is. I actually got to meet him. Got the opportunity to meet him at his. Actually, he had an album release party at Bridge Sound and Stage for that album that you're talking about.
Oh,
the Paul Wall one.
I saw some footage. Saw some footage from that.
Yeah, it was great. Somehow got an invite to that and went, and it was like,
it's incredible.
Yeah, it was amazing, and he couldn't have been a nicer guy.
Very good.
He doesn't know, doesn't know me from a hole in the wall, and I knew there was a lot of people there. He was, trying to give FaceTime to different people, but a couple conversations we had, he was very present.
I was gonna say, very present in like whatever conversation
Absolutely.
you're in. Like a lot of I feel like
I don't know who are you, like whatever, get out of here.
Some people can lose touch of that as they get bigger and stuff like that, but like he's always
so grounded.
and
he's so grounded, yeah. And even like I was watching an interview with Joey Badass the other day, and he was just talking about how no matter what, you should always just, and this is just a people thing and just a humanity thing, which everyone should live by, but it doesn't matter who it is that you're interacting with on your journey up. Like, treat them with respect, treat them with kindness, because you never know when you're gonna see that person again. Like he made the example of like when he was opening for someone, treating them with respect, and then when he had his headline tour, that same stage crew at that venue, like they remembered him when he was opening for whomever, right? And it's like, you don't know who you're gonna meet. You don't know, like you're always networking when you're doing this music thing, and you just gotta just treat people with respect at all times, because like it could one, pay dividends, and two, it's just how you should be anyway.
It's all about good energy. It's all about good energy. It's gonna come back to bite you in the ass if you're gonna give out bad energy and stuff like that. It's karma. Karma's
100%.
real.
The energy is so important. Absolutely.
Yes.
I mean, in the teaching sector, we say, that's actually one of the things we say a lot. We always tell new teachers, it's like, be respectful to everybody, especially like the janitorial staff, because you never know, like when you need something moved in your classroom and you don't want to friggin' do it, like who you calling to do that shit? Who's literally cleaning up the shit that's like in the fucking bath? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's, be respectful to everybody you come across, because you never know when you're gonna need somebody, when any of that stuff. It's because we're all humans at the end of the day. It's like, I think sometimes we and I think especially in this day and age, we've done it for us a long time, but I think with social media and how like just the society that we live in these days, I think we sort of put all these sort of people sometimes on pedestals, 100%. And like we realize, and that and rightfully so, because they do very they do things that are, there's a talent there. They have to they should be be getting their flowers, but at the same time they are human beings at the end of the day. Like they started somewhere too, and to just like you said, I think that's a really good sentiment, just to continuously respect people, because you just never know when you might need them or like anything like that.
Who's to say, like somewhere down the line in 5 years I'm on a record with Terminology, and then it's like, hey, like you were really nice to me at that time at that show, and you didn't have to be.
You didn't have to be at all. Exactly.
Like,
right.
It's like, it's the way to be, man.
Exactly.
You'd have spoken into existence.
Yeah.
It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. If you
listen.
listen.
Shout out Term, Millie's.
Shout out all of Massachusetts scene right now. The
Oh.
Massachusetts scene is unbelievable.
It's blazing, man. It's blazing.
It really is.
And you know what I'll say too? I think in Mass we get a lot of flack for artists big step in each other and
Not being
you
super
know,
collaborative.
yeah, not being collaborative. And I mean, what you're doing right now with the album and just, you know, the old narrative being you got to go to New York or LA and you can't stay in Mass and this and that. I mean, the 2.5 years we've been doing this, like the amount of people I've been able to meet that are just tangentially connected or 2 or 3 connections away from like whoever that person is like, it's a small world and people really do like support each other. And I think, you know, we got to put that to bed. That, like,
I agree. Yeah. I'm seeing it go that way a lot more. Yeah, you're absolutely right. I completely agree. I think, you know, the scene is really in a good place, and that's actually a great transition because I want to get to what we call the main lessons, next segment. And I also want to talk to you guys about performing because you were actually telling me in the park, and when we just parked and we were walking in, that you, in your last interview you were talking about performing, and now it seems like you guys perform freaking weekly. I mean, that's how it feels like to me. You guys are just grinding. You're out there all the time. So, and I got to see you, of course, as you mentioned earlier at Opus, and, you know, shame on me for not seeing you guys earlier than that. And you guys have been performing with a lot of, you know, shows with Bars Over Bars, shout out Hero the MC and all of them that are doing some great things. I know they put on a ton of shows over the last 2 years.
200.
that guy works hard, man.
280.
Say what you want about him. He
plus.
works. He really does. And
He really cares about this shit, and he just wants everyone to network with each other and have a good time and perform and you know, do it for free. And you know, I can't say anything, you know.
Live streams the whole thing, takes pictures of everyone, has those pictures in
Does
your
all the flyers.
Inbox within an hour after the show.
Yeah, man.
he does like 5 jobs, I feel like, at
Does,
once.
does the
It's kinda
vlog,
crazy.
does the vlog,
Everything.
and like does art, does all the flyers himself. Does like artwork for other people too. It's just,
He grinds.
You know what the best
He's a
part
great
about it
dude,
is?
too.
He gives people their first shot. David and I, we did our first show with them. We've done 25 of them now.
Surefire Studios.
Yeah.
Surefire Studios. And
Shout out to them.
about a year ago, at the beginning of this month, correct?
Oh, I remember it was like a couple weeks ago, a year ago.
Yeah. So yeah, we've done over 25 shows together after that, and then a couple solo ones here and there.
That's amazing.
As well, so.
No, I love that. And I agree with you guys a whole lot. He's actually a Turntable Teachers alumni too. He came on before we did any sort of video content. He's like an old school, like,
And he can rap.
guest.
Yeah,
Oh, of course he
rap.
can. He can friggin' spit. But you guys can too. And
for sure.
your performance, so what really stood out to me was the way you guys sort of you have this synergy about you. I feel like as you perform, there's this sort of almost unspoken thing, or maybe it is, because that's part of my question, because I'm so curious about, you know, how you guys prepare for shows, because the way you guys move, it just feels so, like I said, synergetic. Like, you know where David's gonna be almost before he's there, and like
Not always.
or at least you make
I knew he was
it,
gonna say something.
or at least you make it seem that
No,
way.
yeah, we try.
I
It
run
looks that
into
way.
him. I
We
run
try.
into him so much.
David, you want to take this one?
Yeah, we do rehearse. We do reherse a lot.
Oh, I imagine so. But, like, what's that process like?
We'll pick out the set list over like a week before the show. We'll start texting about the set list, having a conversation, argue a little bit. You know what I mean? No, seriously.
Well, because now we have a catalog. Like,
Yeah,
we have
we'll
a
be
lot
very-
we can pick from.
You have a
know?
legitimate catalog. You do.
Yeah,
you do.
We'll get very particular about what songs we want to do and stuff. Once we come to a real agreement on what we're gonna do for the set list, we'll then just the day before the show, we'll run through it maybe like 2 or 3 times, and that's not every single show. But it does show. It does show once when we do rehearse. I feel like we do end up having a better show for sure. But yeah, we just rehearse and we talk about who's gonna do the hook, who's gonna, you know what I mean? We just talk through it, and we're almost just like two opposite magnets on the stage. We'll just make sure we have like enough space between us. Like as we move, we'll just kind of like look at each other out the corner of our eye. We don't want to get too close to each other. We just kind of like move. Yeah, I don't know. It just that part. I just think it was natural, just like survival instinct on the stage when we get up there, type of shit.
100%. That came with reps, obviously, like anything else. I think the cool part about performing together is, you know, when you're up there by yourself, which I've actually never done technically on paper, a solo show, although I did perform for my company with the 150 people there.
Oh, I saw that
sick.
actually.
That was
Yeah,
sick.
yeah.
I came in third. I
murked
kind of
that.
got snubbed. I came in third place. No, shout out to all the performers.
You
but,
killed that shit.
That was an original song I did for like the sales and marketing kickoff meeting. That was amazing. But solo shows are coming. But I think what's really dope about performing with David is that, you know, we we really are able to kind of have that flexibility where when you're up there by yourself, it's just you, right? And you can't, you have very little margin for error. With us, you know, David can ad lib some of my bars and kind of be that double, right? Like when you're recording, like you do doubles. If I miss a bar, chances are he can either pick it up or we can kind of move on. Like the hooks, we can kind of split up. Like he can
do half
of the hook, I do half of the hook, and we've gotten better at like who does what for that. We do a little like, you know, body language too. Like I'll give him like when I want him to do a bar, I'll kind of give him like we have a little like, you know, like signs in baseball,
like a secret word, like
yeah, exactly. So
or
like
a secret, you know, gesture.
It's stuff like that has kind of come with more practice, but
of course, given
you know, we don't use any backing vocals, so.
I noticed that as well.
I'm not like every artist is their own artist, and I'm never going to come at someone if they use some vocals, because the reality is, again, when you're up there by yourself, like those vocals can help, you know, with breath control and things like that. Luckily, we have that luxury being together, is that, you know, while we don't have vocals, we also kind of have each other as a support system.
Right.
Exactly.
You know, so.
Exactly. And like I just when we make mistakes up there, I try to turn them into make it look like it was on purpose, you know what I mean? And just immediately recognize the mistake and not think about it too much, but like just do something, smile, do something to make it look like, all right, was he trying to do that? Oh, okay, he was. Like
this was intentional.
And that's
it's happened too.
And because I've seen out of, we've done, like I said, we've done like 30 shows collectively together and solo. I've seen other people get up there and make a mistake and kind of make a big deal of it, and I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. Just wrote this song, blah blah blah. You know what I mean? Just like if you can just everyone, your attention's on you. Just try and finesse it, make it look like it was on purpose. Be a performer. You know what I mean? So like I actually love those moments. Yeah, it's a very once that happens, you're like, oh, okay, I can get over anything that happens next time. We went to it was almost like, I think it was like our 15th show at Surefire Studios. We gave the USB to Hero, and we've never had any problems usually with our files, but for some reason that day he said they were all good on the thing, and then he went to go play them and none of the files played as we were getting on the stage. So we're like, oh my God. So I had my laptop in my car, luckily. So like we were just going to play it right off my laptop. So I had to run downstairs. Jeff's freestyling a cappella on stage.
Nah, they were written, but
I'm sweating like crazy. I'm running downstairs, running through the parking lot. Like, and it just
I'm like
come back up, and then we had to straight up. I had to DJ my own set off my laptop and just pick random songs,
wild,
and
man.
I had to just play them. And then Jeff would just like we just had to just jump right into it. And I was just, honestly, it was such a great time. I had a great time doing that, and like I was like that was one of the funnest. For me, I mean, obviously there's been some more memorable performances, but that was a fun moment.
Yeah, honestly. But what's the fun? What's the fun if every show you do goes exactly as planned? Like,
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's part of the journey, man. And I think it goes back to that, you know, corny cliche, whatever you want to call it. But it's like you got to enjoy the journey. If you look at this thing as like a stop and go, like it's not going to be fun, man. And it's like, again, it's just like I think the performing is like really just. It manifests all the hard work, and it's like all those hours in the studio, all those songs that we put out, building that catalog, and now we get to share it with the world. And you know, the amount of fans and just very organic fans that we've gotten from like the Bars Over Bars community, the Boston Big Four, all those communities that are involved with these shows. It's very organic, and it's new fans, man. And it's like the growth, like especially I noticed it the most like Instagram followers, but like. When I started, I probably 2x that, you know, since I started performing. So it's like, it's really incredible what Hero does, man. Shout out to Bars Over Bars. They've given us so much. So
and that high that you get from being on stage performing is better than anything I could get from weed, anything I could get from alcohol. You know what I mean? I just feel like it's all every single problem goes away when you're up there. It's like. Just
and it's something you love.
Just like, it's
sure.
therapeutic. It's extremely, extremely therapeutic just to get that like energy out and get off the stage, you're sweating like crazy no matter what. Even if the AC is the best AC in the whole entire world, you're gonna come off stage like drenched in sweat.
Everyone's showing
like,
love
you know,
to
and
you.
it's like it's just awesome. It's just like it's really I want to perform every single day for the rest of my life if I could. You know,
Right,
so like,
right.
and that's what the goal is. That's what the goal is. That's what we're trying to do. And like I'm so blessed to be able to keep getting booked. And Hero, shout out to Hero again. I know, you know what I mean, we already shouted him out a couple times, but that guy, I'm so grateful for him, because once he saw that we were consistent performers, we like to do it, we wanted to get involved in booking some shows,
curating.
and curating some shows. So we both have the pleasure of curating some shows recently, and like not even performing at them, but just being a curator and Bars Over Bars and 108 World presents, and that's been awesome for our creative portfolio and stuff like that. So it's just. I'm just excited. I'm just excited for the future, and this is awesome.
No, you guys are awesome performers. You really are. Like the two of you guys, I just feel like you work off each other so well. I was really, I don't want to say like blown away, but you definitely like exceeded my expectations. Like
thank you.
I had a feeling you guys would, you know, again, as many shows as you've done, I had this hunch that, you know, and seeing some of the footage that you have, you know, I definitely, you know, had a hunch that you were good performers, but when I saw it live and I was right there, it was a different energy. It really was. And you guys really, I think, just brought some type of, I don't know, like it's hard to even like put into words sometimes, like with it. It's almost like you have to experience it. So I guess that's a great way to say, like, make sure.
I really appreciate that.
Yeah, I mean, and you guys, like I said, I mean, Bars Over Bars, they have plenty of shows. Obviously, Boston's Big Four. Shout out Jack as well. That's another great platform in the city.
Jack and Owen, man.
Jack and Owen, I'm sorry, excuse me. Sorry, Owen, my fault.
No worries.
I've not met Owen, but I've met Jack.
Jack's usually, times. I think, at more shows.
He's at more shows.
He was at the Opus one.
Yeah, he was. Yeah. I bumped into him. Yeah, because I met him originally at the Terminology album release party. That's where I initially.
I think he had a Term show shirt on at
he did. Yeah, he did. He's a great guy. So
I just did the Boston's Big Four showcase for Bars Over Bars last week.
I noticed that. Yeah.
Jeff couldn't make it. He was heading over to a bachelor party. The next day. So,
once you turn 30, man, that's all. Weddings and bachelor parties.
I got a few years. I got a few
shows, man.
Bro, you're telling me I'm in the same boat as you right now. Tough. I'm in the same boat as you.
You know what I will say? Well, just one last point on the whole show's part is that I think what's really gives me a lot of gratitude, right, is when some of our friends that, you know, we've been doing it for a year, people have busy schedules, they can't, you know, and a lot of times we're performing up in, you know, Lowell or places that are a little bit of a hike, you know, and when people finally come, this is the same reaction you had. They're like, oh man, I didn't know you could do that, or I didn't know you had that in you, or it's like I'm blown away, and it's like yeah, man, like we really do this. And I think it's like it's cool because when you first start out with the music, it's like you put out a few songs, you put out maybe a few albums, and it's like at first, you know, you got to win people over, and it's like, are they really serious about this? Mm-hmm. Is this a real thing? And it's like, you know, I just think that the shows further validate the mission, and it's just it's amazing to get those reactions from people that we care about, and you know, it makes it all worth it even more.
Isn't it funny sometimes it's like your friends and family, you have to have to win over more half
100%.
the time?
Yeah,
it's really interesting how that happens, because I had the same issue, you know, it's like, oh, you're podcasting, that's cute. And now it's like, and now it's different. Like I'll go out and I'll see people and they're like, oh my God, like what you're doing is incredible. Mm-hmm. Like I noticed, blah, blah. But yeah, like the people weren't saying that. Well, like some people were, but not as many people were saying that 2-3 years ago, right? So it's just, it's so funny.
It's a cool
when
thing to say then.
Yeah. Once you get to a certain level or
like a certain threshold, and then it's like, all right, yeah. Now it's like, oh, let me give you your flowers for doing it so much. It's like, nah, you
know what though?
Been there all along.
You know what? Yes,
it's okay though. But I get it. Though. I get it.
And there's value in that.
I understand that. Like, you know what I mean? Not everyone can tap into everybody's endeavors
all the
time, and especially nowadays in this like 21st century, this era where everybody wants to do everything.
Attention
you know
economy.
what I mean? It's like it's tough. I understand it, but once they come, you know what I mean? It's like, it's so awesome. It's the best feeling.
Yeah, man.
Sorry, Joe.
No, that was a great point. I think, like, to build off that, it's like, listen, man, at the end of the day, people like what they like. Not everyone's a hip-hop fan. Nope. Definitely not, like, all my friends that I grew up with, mostly, none of them are, like, as much of a hip-hop head as I am. So I can't project my fandom for this art and this culture like onto my friends to have that same
That's fair.
that level of that. And it's like, you might like rock, you like, I mean, country, I'm not the biggest fan. They, like, most of my friends love country, and it's like, that's what they like, you know? Like, I'm not gonna expect them to be a fan of me just because, like, I'm doing hip hop if
Right.
they don't really even like hip hop in the first place. Like, they're not even necessarily, like, the ones who do listen to hip hop, yeah, they're my fan base. But, like, if I'm going to do, like, a targeting campaign, I'm targeting fans of, like, Wiki and, like, Your Old Droog, and, like, they don't even know who they are. You know, like, they don't know, like
Your Old Droog, he's fire.
Oh, he's incredible, man.
He's really good.
He's amazing. Like, guys like that, man. Like,
Shout out to Jeff,
very
put me on to him.
Yeah,
for sure.
very tapped into the underground scene, and, like, that's who we need to reach, is, like, people who like Your Old Droog or
That type of stuff.
or Wiki or Crime Apple, and it's like, you know,
makes sense.
that's the type of people I want to reach, because, like, those are, like, hip hop heads. They really care about the art and the culture. And I mean, if you're a Droog fan, you know, every bar is like a punch. That's, like, amazing. It's like every bar is a punchline. It's like, that's the shit I grew up on that I love, with, like, Wayne and Fabulous and Cassidy and stuff. So it's like, not everyone's gonna be a fan of that, and you just have to accept that. And you need to find people that are unbiased, that don't know you through a hole in the wall, that, you know, they see your music and they like it for the art, and they don't know who you are as a person or anything like that. That, like, that's truly branching out, and finding those people is gonna help you on that path more.
Absolutely.
And that's why I love getting people to these shows, because you don't have to be a fan of hip hop to see us having fun, see us living out our dreams, actually, you know what I mean? This is exactly, like, we've always wanted to do this. We've always, you know what I mean? And people have said to me after, oh, I'm not even a huge fan of hip hop, but that was very fun to watch. That was entertaining. We're entertained at the end of the day.
You're
entertainers.
just trying to be entertainers.
We're just trying to be entertainers.
1000%.
You know what I mean?
Facts.
So, like, that's why I, like, do try to drive people to the shows that aren't even necessarily complete hip hop
that's
fans.
important.
Like, I'm like, yo, just come to one. If you don't like it, tell me.
And don't have to come again.
Tell
And
me.
usually-
Don't
and
come
usually we
again.
don't get
And
that.
I'm like, it's just been. I love it.
That's the best part, man.
That night, I keep thinking about that night that at Opus. We did have a couple of our, like, friends that haven't been to any of our shows yet.
And they
come to
popped
that.
out
They were
and-
our first.
yeah.
They were like some of our, like, elementary school friends. You know what I mean? So, like, some very, very old friends of ours. So that was really
amazing.
very, very cool moment. And
Just so rewarding,
got
man.
to kick it with them after, and just they were talking about us, and I don't know, just in a good light. And those words, even if, like, they might not think of that the next day, of, like, the kind words that they said, those words to us
That's what stays with you.
mean like the world to us. So anytime anyone ever says something to me, like, I make sure, like, really listen to them after, like, you know, I just.
It's fuel. It's fuel
awesome.
to keep
It's really
going.
fuel.
It's
It's
fuel
really
to keep
fuel.
going,
It's really
because,
fuel.
like, it's very grueling. It's hard work, man. It's, you know, again, we pride ourselves on really rapping, and, like, it's a lot of lyricism, and it's a lot of, you know, coming up with clever punchlines and wordplay and telling stories and all that a real MC, you know, has to do to you know, become one of those. And it's like, that's not always easy to do. And it's like, when you have people there that are believing in it and telling you, like, yo, I want you to do big things, man. Like, make me proud. Like, all right, I'm gonna go write the best verse of my life now, you know. And it's like,
Yeah.
and I think me and him working together, we do that with each other, with our creative process, and just, like, doing the songs we do together. Like, all right, I just wrote a crazy verse. I'm gonna send a voice memo to David. Like, he's gonna try to one up me now.
Yeah,
that's how we stay
yeah,
competitive
that's
too.
I love that competitive nature between us, and as well, I'm very happy to have someone like Jeff that we work so well together, because we talk about every single little feeling too that we have towards this thing. Like, Jeff, I might go to Jeff and be like, yo, I'm having doubts. I'm having, to be honest, you know what I mean? And that's normal, that's thing. I have doubts about whatever. How
I don't want to drop this.
Yeah, I don't want to drop this. My voice sounds weird on this. What are we even doing this for? Jeff might say a couple things to me, and then, all right, I got to tweak my mind a little bit.
Exactly.
But those feelings are normal. Every single feeling of doubt is normal.
Of course it
getting
is, yeah.
getting through it, and realizing that you can get through it, and having
Absolutely.
someone there to be able to, you know what I mean, talk you through that moment of doubt has been unbelievable. And that's like one of the biggest things about this music journey together for me and Jeff. I think just having someone there to not make a very, like, quick decision off rip, you know what I mean? Like, oh, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna scrap this
Acting
whole
on
project.
emotion,
yeah,
yeah.
acting. You know what I mean? Like, so now we're able to talk through things why do you feel that way? You know what I mean? Why are you?
collaboration,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's just
It's super important.
Yes.
No, well, guys, congratulations.
Sorry,
no, don't apologize. Congratulations, you guys. Really, like, you've come a long way, and I think that's very. It's apparent. You can see it. You can hear it when obviously when I went out to that show at Opus. Like, it's very just it's palpable, and so I appreciate like the journey and that you guys still are clearly hungry. So
Yeah.
that's amazing. Keep going, because there's a lot of potential in this room right now with you two. So keep going. I do want to segue to the EP, your upcoming EP that's dropping in, as this episode is dropping in just a few days, Part 5. Before we get to the EP though, I have a couple of I have two little quizzes that I want to give you guys.
Right.
So the
School time. Let's go.
yeah. So
I haven't been to school in a little bit.
and there's the bell. So there you go. Yeah. So now I got to test your golf, knowledge clearly, because the whole thing is about golf. All right. So obviously Par 5. Anybody that didn't catch that. So I got a little golf trivia. I got 3 questions here. I don't have a prize for the winner. I don't know what the winner's going to get here, but we'll see what happens. So
is it like a buzzer?
Yeah.
so I was going to say raise the hand. We'll keep it like classic, classic raise the hand. So I'll keep it. Oh, you're good. I'll keep it really simple for the first couple, and then we're gonna get into pop quiz after this, because and there's some gems in that one for sure.
Meat and potatoes right there.
Yeah, that's a fun one. All right, so whoever raises their hand first, don't be like fighting each other, it's like pushing each other over. Whoever raises their hand first has the first way to answer. Who's the number 1 golfer in the world right now? David.
Rory McIlroy.
Wrong.
Scotty Scheffler.
Ding. 1 point for. Love it, SK. Great job. Point for Jeff. 1-0 Jeff. Okay. Who won this year's U.S. Open at the Country Club in Brookline?
I should know this.
Oh wait.
I definitely knew this like 2 weeks ago. This is bad.
Crickets. I don't even know.
That's bad.
Matt Fitzpatrick. Still 1-0.
Definitely.
David, you good?
Wait, I'm gonna give a tidbit though. He stayed at the same house that he did at the last.
Yes,
the last
he did.
time.
Yes, he did.
Too bad
Yes,
that
and you
wasn't
knew
a
that.
question. That wasn't a question. Oh my
Let me get a
god.
ding. I got that one. Yeah. Let's go.
Come on.
No, give him one of
Give him
those,
a
SK.
half
We need
ding,
one of
half
those.
ding.
All right. According to Top List, this is a multiple choice question. Which of the following brands is the highest grossing golf brand in the world? Is it A, TaylorMade, B, Mizuno, C, Callaway, or D, Titleist? Jeff.
I would actually say A, TaylorMade.
Wrong.
D, Titleist.
Wrong. It was actually Callaway.
Really?
Real.
Yep.
All right. Well.
See, I thought Titleist would be the easy answer, right?
Yeah. So when you got it wrong,
Yeah. Yeah,
I
it must be.
used process of elimination.
Yeah.
I was wrong completely.
Last one. You still got a chance here.
Let's go.
Name 2 of the top 5 golfers with the most majors ever. David.
Phil Mickelson, Tiger Woods.
No, wrong.
Tiger Woods, Jack Nicklaus.
Ding. Got it.
Wow.
Your answer's
Who's been golfing longer?
I'll still beat you. Doesn't matter.
You got half of it. So the answers could have been Jack Nicklaus, Tiger Woods, Tom Watson, Walter Hagen, Ben Hogan, or Gary Player.
I thought Phil Mickelson was up there.
Done.
Oh, geez.
Jeff wins. I don't know what you win. You maybe just get bragging rights.
Honestly, that's
Just
even
what I
worse. That's
need.
even worse.
All right, now the heat, that was easy. Now the heaters
the
are
hard
coming.
stuff.
Now here comes the hard stuff. All right, David. What do you have against food? Why do you never eat? What is? Why? Please explain this.
I'm just a skinny dude. I just I don't eat a lot.
Just
I don't
small
eat a lot.
metabolism?
Just a small metabolism. If I eat, just.
Because I hear you eat like a bird. Is that true?
It is very true.
Oh man, I was wondering what you said to this
man.
dude. All right. Well, I don't have an answer, so.
All right, fine.
That's good. No, that's
There
mad
we
funny.
go.
That's awesome.
Jeff, I need your best Peter Griffin and Method Man impression. Start with Peter Griffin. Go. On the
All
spot.
right, we're sitting over here. We're at Nowhere Studios because I don't know where it is when I was driving here, and I got a little bit lost. And then I'm sitting here with this guy, David. He thinks he's a rapper or something. I don't know. I mean, I've done a couple shows with him, but yeah.
That was awesome. You were right. You were spot on that shit.
And then, it's...
Jeff's gotten every ding. David, you got a single ding this whole
Wait, do I
fucking
do Method
You gotta
Man
give
now?
the method.
Now you gotta do
man.
Method
give
Man.
the Method Man.
And it was Johnny Blaze checking in, Mr. Man, Mr. Cow, Wu-Tang Clan, protect your neck, blah.
Those are both pretty good. I'm very impressed.
When I'm
with
rapping
those.
Method Man, it's easier. I like thought of something on the spot, but yeah.
That's great.
That's good.
David.
Yes.
All right, now kind of going into like the marketing side of things right now. So put your marketing hat on. Sell me why Bud Light Limes are the best beer. Because I think they suck.
They go down like water for me. I absolutely.
A nice summer day.
Nice summer day.
On the course when you're shooting 100.
On the course, that nice 6-pack of Bud Light Limes. As soon as I had that bad shot, just chug one of those.
We should have named the 108 4-pack.
Problems are over. Problems are over. Bud Light Limes.
Bud Light Limes. I hear you're a fan. I don't know. All right,
that's good. No, that's good. I love that one.
Now the marketing guy gets to go, and you get to sell me something. You need to sell me on why the Nike string bag is superior to all portable bags.
Oh, listen, man, this thing gets me through so many. All you need is a few things.
He has it.
Phone wallet. He has it everywhere.
Listen, man, what am I gonna take? Like a Stop and Shop bag, or a Shaw's bag from under the sink?
I don't know.
That's good. That's
awesome.
awesome.
I have a nice Patagonia bag, but it's too bulky, man. If
You
I
don't
just
bring
need
the
a few
Patagonia
items.
around? Bring the
It's from
Patagonia.
work, but yeah.
At least you don't have a bowling ball.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, SK flamed me coming in. He said, "What do you have? He said, "What do you have a bowling ball in there?"
Honestly, that's a good
what he
guess.
said.
That's a good guess, man.
Honestly, this is the most interesting bag assortment that I've seen. You bringing in the bowling duffel bag
with the Pinot Grigio in it.
I haven't owned one of those Nike drawstring bags since I was in high school.
Listen,
probably.
man.
I don't even think you can find them
man.
anymore.
Take a ride to the mall. Hit up your local Champ Sports if they're still open.
Yeah,
and
they know
maybe
that's
Dick's.
the thing.
Go to Dick's.
Yeah. What are you gonna go to?
I used to work at Dick's. Don't go to Dick's.
Models
I hate Dick's Sporting Goods personally. But, no, hate's a strong word.
That's a good one.
I dislike. All right, not bad, guys. Pretty decent. Pretty decent. All right.
Getting into the hard ones.
You did okay. No, we're good. You're off the clock. Well done. You guys passed. Well, maybe not David. David, I think failed.
I got my GED, so all right.
David's got his GED, so we're fine. All right, par 5, the upcoming EP.
That's right.
I want to hear about this creative process, how you decided on a golf theme, because I feel like with you guys specifically, a lot of your projects, there definitely seems to be some sort of theme or concept, with a lot of your projects. So I'm very curious about how you guys came up with this. And obviously, I want to hear about, obviously, you guys mentioned him earlier, Steve, aka One Wonder, and Jay Pats, like they're sort of the roles they had in creation of this project. So, David, maybe start with you.
I'll start.
Go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. We always try to tie in, things that we've been doing to our art as well, and keep it, symbiotic. Like our 108 4-pack, we were drinking a lot of IPA. We were drinking a lot of IPAs.
Yeah.
We had a little IPA craze at that time. We were just, you know what? Let's do a 108 4-pack. Keep the numerology. So then we were like, all right, let's go to this next one. Try to tie in some numbers with the same amount of tracks. Like thinking about golf, we've been playing golf every day. We're like, this is perfect. This is awesome. We're outside most days, like playing golf. We try to we sneak on at our local golf course, Gannon Golf Course, all the time. And then, but yeah, we were.
All the members watching this are gonna be like,
no members are gonna watch.
I would actually be happy if any members watched this. Truthfully, that would make me happy.
I'm gonna send.
And subscribe.
I'm gonna go. We're gonna play this on the thing again at the 19th hole right now at next Friday or something. But we basically just came up with the idea for par 5. Like I said, we're just doing day-to-day things like going golfing all the time. So and it was very organic. We actually talked about this before the podcast tonight. We were like, how did we even...
We don't have a cool story.
We don't really have a cool story. It was just organic, and we kept the numerology, and the funnest time was naming the tracks, because we wanted to keep every part of every track very golf related, even though I don't even think...
Two-putting and teeing off.
Yeah,
and
teeing off,
obviously par 5.
Two-putting, fairway finders,
pin seeking,
and then par 5 as the outro. And we just we wanted to name them, tie it in with there, even though none of the songs have
Which I
like
think is-
any golf,
which is kinda
any
cool,
golf
though,
reference
like-
on it. We're just trying to do some fun things.
Like I
you know
feel,
what I mean?
you know, Action Bronson does that a lot. Where
Yeah.
they'll just have like random names, and like even his albums are super left field random and like have nothing to do with his bars, but like it's cool. It's art.
It's actually an interesting comparison. I didn't think about that, but now it's making sense.
I
Yeah.
would say like when we do the random like off kilter stuff like that, like I would say he's probably my biggest influence with that stuff. Like he'll just name stuff whatever. But as far as J Pats, he's a YouTube producer that Dave and I have been subscribed to and always checking for his beats. Like he really gave us that. You know, all his beats are like, you know, tight beats. So a lot of them are like Benny the Butcher, Jay-Z type beat, or like Inspect the Deck, Method Man type beat. Like he goes as far as back as like that 90s sound, but also kind of merges it with the current underground scene a lot. And with this EP specifically, because it's so short and it's just brief, we just wanted to have fun rapping. I mean, from One Away with Love, there were some more concepts on there, some more serious content, but with the short EP like this, we just want to showcase some skill and just have fun doing it. And I think that's what we did.
Yeah, and then for Par 5, we for the actual title track, Par 5, Chairman Chow shot the video for us. He's
Shout out to Chow.
Yeah, he's a local videographer and rapper, producer, jack of all trades, great person, and been absolutely blessed to be able to form a great relationship with him, form a great friendship with him. And then once we shot the video for Par 5, it kind of just elevated our feeling for Par 5 altogether. You know what I mean? So like anytime we think of the Par 5 album, we think of the video, and just kind of just brought the whole entire vision together for us.
And that's also going back to like, you know, what's so fun about this is just again like meeting people that are like Chow. He had his 30th birthday, and it was like a DJ set, or it was a producer set, and a bunch of guys came and played beats. Michelangelo, Grubby Paws, like really dope producers in the scene. Yeah. Like got to meet some of those guys. And just, you know, he's a real great guy. So shout out to Chow, man. We're excited to do more work with him too.
Yeah, we have a video coming out with him very soon. It's called Visions, and it's not on the album. So
Right.
I'm gonna tease that. I gotta tease
Plug away, man.
I gotta
Plug
tease
it.
something.
Man.
I gotta tease
Plug it.
something.
But yeah,
Awesome.
that's Par 5, man. It's in and out. It's 5 songs. It's about 15 minutes. It's dope raps, dope beats,
Whole thing's
cool
J-Pats,
artwork.
right?
J Pats did all but one. Disarray Davis.
Disarray Davis
did the intro.
Did the intro, which I love that.
great beat.
Sample. You guys are gonna love that sample in the beginning. It's
But plenty
awesome.
of more music on the way. We have a lot in the chamber. So
Yeah.
Well, you guys seem very consistent with you know how much music you actually put out, even if it's just singles. Like there was a little bit earlier this year, you guys were kind of putting singles not weekly, but it seemed like almost
did.
bi-weekly.
Yeah,
Wasn't
yeah.
it kind of weekly
we did,
for a
We did a
while?
little
No, we did
bi-weekly.
February.
Bi-weekly? Yeah.
We did February, March, April, May, and then June we put out Par 5, and this is the longest I think we've gone without dropping anything, and it's been 3 months, but like
Yeah.
that feels like forever.
But then we just fill it up with the shows, and it's been awesome. You know
Right,
what I mean?
right.
So like we
Well,
always.
that's good. That's the summer's good
I love
for that.
it. Yeah,
to-
exactly.
To do the shows because
exactly,
that's a more
yes.
local. Mind if we play a track? We play Par 5 for
do
the
it.
people. Just a little
Yeah.
preview.
That's
For
fine.
sure, man.
All right. Well, so this is Par 5, the title track off the brand new EP from Jeff Porter and David Ryan, and we will be right back with
Par
our
5,
final question
latest
and the final segment. So stay tuned for that.
Yeah, at a tea time. 108. Yeah, one car, please. I thought I'm delusional, then I realized what I could do. The only thing fictional is when I said I'm missing you. I started this a dog's year ago when I felt miserable. Back against the wall, I thought I'd end up in an institute. Your lack of skill is noticeable like a missing tooth. I can't be pissed at you, y'all are my kids too. I'm disappointed. When you drop, it's either trash or it's not good, it's a coin flip. I'm sorry I had to rub it in like ointment. I'm barely staying afloat, I'm barely buoyant. At least I'm not annoying, at least I got something valuable like an oyster. You're just not that good like Brian Hoyer. I've dropped 30 in the first quarter. When it's over, best believe I'll be the top scorer. Blowing like a mortar, causing all sorts of disorder. Give a lot of thanks to Jeff Porter, hardest worker.
Thank you, brother.
Fuck. Let's get it.
Real smooth.
Hey, 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 hey.
Not a soldier on the front lines, but still got tough times. Wonder how I unwind, I crack a sip of sunshine. Knowing we done came a long way from class of fun time. Feeling thankful, another day I get to see the sunrise. I'm like Big D's, about to go out for a blunt ride. Daily stress levels forcing me to go get dumb high. Flying solo, been a while now, I've been single. All I got's a pen and pad and some fucking Casamigos. God don't make mistakes, nice view right near the lake. I ingratiate myself to be one of the greats. On the local scene, they really want a verse from me. They get that rookie fee, they think they fucking pushing P. I'm sick of dating apps, I got no time for back and forth. That shit is corny like that Grammy text from Macklemore. Couple joints, couple beers, I'm a happy fella. I never miss, I'm consistent like some Cali weather.
Par 5, we the greatest alive. Par 5, we the greatest alive. Par 5, we the greatest alive. Par 5, we the greatest alive.
Par 5, we the greatest alive. Par 5, we the greatest alive. Yeah, Par 5, we the greatest alive. Par 5, we the greatest alive, homie.
And that was Par 5, the title track to your brand new EP that is coming out in just a few days. So obviously,
actually, yeah, it's not a few days actually.
Well,
Wait,
when this drops.
Oh,
yeah. Yeah,
sorry.
it's okay. It's all right. He didn't get the memo.
Hey, I didn't. I just wanted to make sure.
No. Trust me. I know.
That's my
You're good.
That's my fault. That's my fault.
Poor David. He is just getting ring through the
rush tonight.
Getting through the ringer on this
But
episode.
I didn't get one ring on the bell.
Give it, SK. Give him a bell.
Pretty good. There we go. That's good. That was good.
Oh man,
the suspense for that
amazing.
one was good. Thank you, SK.
Oh, that was great. Well, guys, make sure you go stream it. We'll link it in the description once it is out. Of course, we'll probably be, I'm sure it'll go on our playlist. So, it'll be out on all streaming platforms. Make sure you go check it out. Check out the Part 5 video, which is out now. Yes. I have one final question before we get to the last segment, which is obviously like, my favorite part of this always, because that's always the most interesting one. I've never had two guests on at the same time in person. And especially with you two being, so close knit and, making all your music together, is there ever a conversation, and not a thing where like, all right, this is getting stale or you have like an issue with each other, but is there ever, ever conversations about doing any solo music at all? Or does those conversations ever come up? When they do, like, what is that like? And again, I'm not trying to split you up, I swear. But like, I'm just curious though, like going forward, I know you're still gonna be making music together, but is there ever anything like any sort of plans to maybe, you've done a few solo shows here and there, but is there anything in terms of like solo music?
I think that's like, we always from the beginning, we always talked about how we are definitely like, we're solo artists, you know what I mean? We're doing this thing together right now, but like we'll do stuff together, but we do have our own solo projects that we need to do for our soul, you know what I mean? And like when I started doing music, I started by myself. They had the first things that he ever released were by himself. Mm-hmm. So we did start that and started with solo stuff, set that precedent early. And I mean, this guy over here, he can tell you he has.
I'm working on 3 solo projects right now.
So
I have
a lot of stuff.
No, I didn't. No. So it's funny because like he's doing most of the solo shows right now. My schedule this summer has just been crazy. So like he'll do a show if I'm not around, this and that. I'm gonna have a couple of those coming up. But yeah, I think it's very important for us, and something that we did from the get-go was like part of our names, right? Like our stage names. Like I'm Jeff Porter, he's David Ryan. Yes, we are 108 World. We represent that. I represent kind of on an offshoot like Real Smooth, which I'm starting to kind of build more of. And we're not like on Spotify. You're not going to find us as 108 World. Like we're Jeff Porter and David Ryan, because we don't want to be pigeonholed into that as just being a group. And the reason for that is that we do have a lot of plans. Like I'm working on Real Smooth mixtape right now. It's just going to be me rapping over a bunch of popular beats on like SoundCloud, and then the Real Smooth album will be all original stuff. And then I'm actually working on an album right now with T the Truth from Lynn, very dope producer and MC and engineer, triple threat. Very talented guy. He's just chopping samples in his room and I'm rapping over it. So that's coming soon. David's on there. A bunch of artists from Lynn will be featured on that. So
great.
David has a bunch of stuff too.
Yeah, I've been kind of just dabbling in different genres and stuff. I got a lot of R&B work coming.
Okay.
Yeah, I got some rock stuff in the chamber.
I can't
just
say the
kinda,
same, but
I'm just kind of trying to dabble a little bit in different
Experiment
things,
a little bit.
experiment, and find what my maybe one of my other niche little things is. You know what I mean? Because I do love to sing. I know it's like it's a talent that I'm trying to craft every day and try to make it a little bit better every day, and it's a hard thing. So I've been trying to, in my basement, working on the Scarlet Focusrite, you know what I mean, making some reference tracks every night,
and the stuff
over
with Triz, right?
different things. What's that?
Stuff with Triz.
Yeah, Triz, me and my guy Triz One from Lynn as well. We have like 9-10 songs almost done right now. So
awesome.
As well, I have a bunch with this dude Kava, my guy Kava. He's a big in the bars over bars world too. So yeah,
we looked at
a lot of things. There's a lot of things.
We looked at it. Like, we got to reassess it and reevaluate it, but we have like a spreadsheet of all the music that we've either put out or has yet to see, public recognition or has been released, and we have like 55, 60 songs in the top.
I mean, and that was the last. That was like the last time that we checked. Now we probably have even more
higher.
for now. And another thing, we eventually we want to do a little project with our guy Young Youssef out of the Juice Box in Everett, where we record a lot of our stuff.
Awesome.
It was originally planned to come out a little bit ago, called 108 to Linden, and we just kind of, things happen. You know what I mean? So scheduling and stuff like that, different things going on. So, but we still have like 10, 15, no, it's like 10 to 12 tracks.
What, with him?
It was probably like 10.
5 to 6 maybe, but
Not a little more, maybe
but,
like, all right.
well, yeah, with him,
8
but
to
like
9.
if you count those like posse cuts that we have with Neek and Miles Carter,
Yeah.
We have like all the studio nights there at the Juice Box. Shout out to Ethan and everyone over at the Juice Box, but like we would just have those nights. I'm sure it happened here where people are just creating and getting into the vibe, and songs that are great, and you just record them and they just kind of sit there, and it's a good problem to have, though.
Totally,
it's a good problem to have,
definitely.
Yeah.
Well, congrats. Well, you guys are killing it, really. I mean, obviously together, and sounds like even have the different solo endeavors, and I think that's really important. What you guys are sort of fostering right here is you're fostering a really great. It seems like you guys are really close friends, but you're fostering a great working relationship. But there's no really like animosity. If I like, hey, Jeff's gonna go do such and such over here, or David's gonna go do the show or work with this artist. Like, you guys kind of, it seems very fluid.
It's actually encouraged. It's encouraged.
That's even better. I think that's even better because you don't get that all the time.
You're gonna learn every time.
I feel like that's awesome.
Yeah.
David will send me a beat, or like, actually, this is kind of a new concept we kind of just that was born recently the other night. I would like send David some beats, like MF Doom type shit. I'd be like, dude, I want you to rap on this. And he'd be like, you know what, like, send me more of these beats, and I want you to kind of like A&R my like next solo project. So I'm kind of the exec kind of, producing that kind of thing for him right now. I'm just sending him stuff that's like stuff that like nerdy rap beats that I would like love, but I want him to rap on,
That's amazing, guys. Well, listen, you're really, I think, I mean, it's clear there's a trajectory right now. You guys are definitely on it. You're doing some amazing stuff, obviously together, but solo. And like, I'm definitely a fan. Yeah,
Thank you so much.
You
so much.
made a fan out of me for sure. I've been a fan of you guys for actually quite some time, and so I'm really happy that we were able to get you guys on here and do this and I had a lot of fun. This is beautiful.
This has been absolutely beautiful right now. This space right now.
So that's
awesome.
one story I want to say. So when I started doing music, I reached out to John. John and my sister used to work together back in the day, and I was aware of him. I sent him like my first couple projects. He gave me some feedback. It was very nice, DMing back and forth. And to see him at the Opus show and just like with a smile on, being like, yo, congrats, man. Like, and now we're here like recording here and there and doing this podcast. Like, I just love the small world aspect of this whole thing. And shout out to John, SK, everybody here, and just it's awesome, man.
This is a beautiful place, and there's a reason why I record here. Seriously.
Shout out to Mr. Mixwell as well.
Oh, for sure.
Can't forget about my guy.
You got some stuff cooking with him too.
He sent me over that pack of beats. Every single name of the beat was so fire too. And then I was like, this makes me want to like
dope.
really, really do stuff to every single. And
sure.
the beats were unbelievable too.
Very dope.
So,
very dope.
Yeah.
A lot of talent in this state, man.
Absolutely, there really is. Well, guys, thank you so much for being here. This has been a lot of fun. My final question, of course, this is The last segment, we call this the open response, and this is the dream song scenario.
Okay,
So
okay.
you
Love it.
You get a song. So I'll go both. We'll go individually since because the answers could change. I know who you'll pick. There's no way you don't pick Kanye. You Kanye stan. I know you're saying. I already knew you were a Kanye stan.
apologist. That's what I like to call it.
So you get a song. All right, you can make this song with any artist, producers, dead or alive. In case I don't have to be living. You get 1 to 2 producers, and then you get 3 guest features. All right, so you can get somebody to do the hook, or you can get 2, verses, or you can do however you want to go about that. Totally up to you. So, who would like to start with their dream songs? Here, maybe we'll start with producer. Jeff? Who would be your dream producer to work with?
Do I get 2 producers?
You can get 2.
Because that makes it simple for me.
2.
I would easily have Primo and Alchemist. That's my top 2
That
of all time.
sounds like it makes sense.
If I had features on that song with me, I get 3 features.
You get 3 features.
So I have to go with Droog, just because he's so consistent.
so fire.
Like in 20 years, we're gonna look back and like if this guy died the next week, God forbid, people would the Reddit would go crazy. Like people would start really discovering him, and this dude does not miss.
I've been on him for 10 years.
It's crazy,
He's
dude.
really good.
I saw him open
Really,
for
really good.
Slaughterhouse at Middle East, and when Nutty Bars came out, and I was I knew every line. And he was like, "Yo, shout out to this guy right here."
fire.
It might have been the Prime show. But yeah,
Ooh.
I would probably go with Droog. I'd have to go with Wayne. Just his feet, he's probably my favorite rapper of all time. But his features in the last 2 years have been crazy. Not necessarily his albums, but his features have been nuts. So I'd probably go Droog, Wayne, and Hove.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
That is a hip hop track to the
that's
death, man. That
that's
is an
a
old
hip-hop
school
track,
boom bap
man.
hip hop track.
That's a
Even though
track
Wayne's
right
not
there.
technically boom bap, but he can get
if Alchemist did a project for Wayne, watch out. That would be crazy.
that would be insane.
Okay.
Mr. David Ryan.
I got 40 and Mike Dean on the production for my song.
Okay, I like it.
Mike Dean producing, not engineering.
Well, I mean,
He produces.
He produces a lot. He produces a lot of stuff.
shout out-
Kanye is going to be Kanye's going to engineer and executive producer,
Oh, okay.
of course. Because if Kanye has a hand in anything, he really.
No, I'm
he
just
has
kidding.
the
Mike
whole
Dean's a
thing.
great producer.
I really need Bonnie Vare. You know,
of course I know Bonnie. Oh my God, bro.
I didn't mean
Bonnie
to put you on the
Vare.
spot.
That's
I need Bonnie Vare.
Shut up.
Doing some
Dope.
crazy shit on there with me rapping.
Yes.
And then I need an outro of Mos Def hitting some
fucking
lyrical ass shit right at the end, and it's
Wow.
gonna switch. It's gonna switch to some 40 drums,
Hell
and
yes.
have just Mos Def saying some crazy shit at the end.
That's
And
pretty hard.
is Kanye on it?
Honestly, Kanye might be sprinkling some auto-tune shit in there, but
Nah,
he's
get a
kind of
sci-hi verse. Get a
just.
sci-hi verse on that.
Well, if it's a Kanye verse, it's a Sci-Hi verse.
That's right.
That's very true. That's fair enough.
No, it's Kanye's gonna do whatever he feels fit.
He'll
for
be
the
in the
song.
room.
Let's
He'll
put
be
it
in the
that. Let's
room.
put it
He'll be
that
in
way
the room.
because no one tells Kanye what he's gonna do. He just does it. So even if I said my dream song was to have Kanye on it, I'll do it, and then he ends up just doing some other shit. Bonnie Vare, 40, Mos Def, Kanye. I guess
Sci-Hi.
And
Rick
wait,
Ross.
honestly,
How about-
Jeff Porter. I need Jeff Porter on that.
Well, you're living that dream. That one's been.
Well,
It's a nightmare.
on
It's a
my
nightmare, brother.
Well, Rick Ross had to rewrite his verse on "Devil in a New Dress." Do you know that story? Multiple times.
He said it's not. Oh well, he actually told him and Pusha T to change their verse by the time.
I heard
But
he works to the very end.
He said he
but
goes.
that Rick
yeah.
Ross verse is one of the best verses of the 2010s.
Oh yeah,
Sure.
He
Yeah,
told
that sounds
Pusha
insane.
T his verse on Runaway wasn't douchebag enough. And he made, it's quote unquote not douchebag enough to have him come back in and do it. Sorry,
crazy.
I didn't mean to swear on the turntable.
No, I swear a couple. No. Swearing is allowed. It's all good.
yeah.
It's all
See
good.
Groovies?
You're good. You're good.
Yo, shout out
That's
Groove.
very
Shout
true.
out
Shout out
Groove
to
for
Groovy.
real. Great album. Great album.
Great album. Great dude.
Unbelievable.
Very fun podcast with
Oh,
him.
yeah.
As this was. David Ryan, Jeff Porter. It's been a pleasure. Thank you guys so much for being here, man.
man.
This
Dope.
was so
My
much
man.
fun.
Shout out to Mike. Shout out to Turntable Teachers, man.
Thank
SK
you
the
guys.
Great.
SK
Shout
the
out to
Great
my man.
on the boards.
Yes,
Hey, real quick, plug away. Where can people find you? Obviously, the links will be in the description, but go ahead, plug away. Use your last sort of.
Yes, sir. Jeff Porter on all music platforms. At Jeff Porter _108 on Instagram. That's where you're gonna find most of my stuff. Yeah, man.
David Ryan 108 on Instagram. David Ryan on all platforms. If you can search David Ryan somewhere, you're probably gonna find me. So yeah.
And if you search our names together, pretty good SEO on that.
Yo, wait. Can you show the back of your shirt real quick?
Oh, yeah,
Is it possible to show it to the
yes,
camera?
yes.
To the you can take the headphones off to show it, bro. You don't.
Yeah, you're not married to those things. That's fine.
Yeah, yo. So I'm gonna plug the merch real quick while he's showing it. If you go on to,
This is the back. I like it.
is it Ulysses Media?
Ulysses. Yeah, we can maybe link it.
Yeah, well, we'll link it for sure.
It's ulyssesmedia.com. No, actually, it's ulysses.media. I lied.
We'll get the actual link.
We'll get the actual link.
That'll be linked in the description.
We got some merch out right now. If you order from it, get it in within 5 to 6 days. Done by our guy Emerson. He's been taking a lot of pictures for us and doing a lot of work with him.
He did the Par 5 artwork.
Yeah, he did the Par 5 artwork, did the Face It artwork for a recent single of ours. So we're going to do a lot of work with Emerson and Ulysses Media.
Young legend out of Brooklyn.
Shout out to them. Yeah.
Dope. And stream Par 5 wherever you get
Stream
your music. It'll be out very soon.
Par 5, yes.
And if you're a fan of Jeff Porter and David Ryan coming on to us for the first time, you can follow us at Turntable Teachers on Instagram, TikTok, and then make sure you subscribe. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Subscribe to wherever you get your podcast, whether that's on Spotify, Apple, SoundCloud. We're on all of them. Guys, this has been a lot of fun. Thank you so much for being here. This has been a great episode. And
Honored.
No, as am I. Likewise, you guys killed it. And absolutely, bro. Good job, guys.
Every dap was necessary.
Every dap was necessary.
David likes to dap. I should have added that in the quiz.
Yeah.
David loves to dap. All he does is dap in the studio.
I'm Mike. This is Jeff Porter. This is David Ryan with the Turntable Teachers, and class is officially dismissed.
Turn.